Invoking Tom Holland for non-soloist reading. Ancient Texts v. Comic Books. Today is Saturday, 1 August 2026. I am Tanis, she, her, hers of Seattle, and here I invoke actor Tom Holland for a non-soloist reading musing. That is Ancient Texts versus Comic Books. Why? The Cooper's Hawks made me do it. They've been talking a lot recently, so they're like, and now? Cement us in your future. So, the handsome hunk, Tom Holland, is divine, and descriptions of the divine predate the Holy Bible, include the Holy Bible, and postdate the Holy Bible. I've read the Holy Bible before. This is my copy I got back in 2001. And I've covered this book. I've read it. It's nice to have a book, but have I read it all the way through? I did. Back in 2018, I did a solo reading of it. So I'll put a link to that video in the video description, as well as a solo reading of a graphic novel / comic book style biography of physicist Stephen Hawking, which is relevant for this video. And is one that I was happy to read because it was, like a few hundred pages, and it was like a book, but it was comic books / graphic novel / comic book form. And so it was kind of a good one for, comic books can be thin and, 30, 40, 50 pages. They can also be a hardbound book, so to speak. So I was like, here we go. Let's cement a man in my future. Should he want to be in my future? All right. And I want to be in his future. It's that simple. It should wants align. They align. So here we go. Soloist approach. I read the book alone. The Cooper's Hawks swoop by my window 20 times in 15 pages. Non-soloist approach. I read the book at the same time as someone else, and we discuss the book as we read. Opens one's interpretations up to being changed by other persons during reading, whether or not one's interpretations actually end up changing. The Cooper's Hawk talks to me about blackberries I'm eating as I read. So like, that would be, I'm sitting outside reading a book and I'm eating blackberries, and the Cooper's Hawk talks to me. We're talking about the book I'm reading. They're like, I got magnetoreception, man. I can read your brain as you're reading. We're talking about the book. All right. So that's soloist and non-soloist. So here we go for ancient texts and comic books. Both of these are maybe we'll do a bonus. So a bonus of something he could help me with in terms of physiology, but I'll save that for the end after I've gone through each. So ancient texts. He shows up to stay with me, PDFs of a few texts in his hands, and on a quest to find particular copies of the corresponding works. We store them in stacks on the floor, like the books I use in stack form as a dining surface for my eating ASMR content of recent past. To reduce confusion, we share the same PDF for each text, reading a designated chunk, then handing off to the other person before continuing on to the next chunk. Comic books. He shows up to stay with me, a number of different comic book final forms in his hands, asking for help on how to read them together. This is an excellent question. So we approach the reading with different project topic filters and track our pairings, reading in tandem to assess project topic and form fit. Tandem here could mean one chunk alternate at a time or out loud to each other. You guys go, but this is physiology. That's not the physiology bonus though. So you guys know that reducing confusion as part of my cardiology self-experimentation, cardiology being study of the human heart and the corresponding blood system for what I do. So this is a really how to read comic books. I realize I'm 33 years of age and I've read comic books kind of throughout my existence in various forms and various topics. But how do I read them? I still don't know. Especially in a non-soloist approach. So Tom Holland is here to save my day, and he goes, don't forget about that bonus. Okay. The physiology bonus would be he enforces I read with my natural eyes. And he's like, and since there are comic books in this, comic books are a great place. I can read Holy Bible without my glasses on. How much of the text can I read without my glasses on? Improve my eyesight so that I don't even need to wear glasses. But since the comic books, this reading, includes out loud to each other, there could be if I really can't read something, we get to take care of each other in sickness and in health, and he takes care of me in sickness, and it helps me improve my vision. And if I just can't do it at the time, he's like, we're still reading this book, so I'm going to read it out loud. So and that falls into comic books. So then if my vision improves, my eyesight improves as we're reading, then, you know, it might be front heavy on comic books and tail heavy on ancient texts, and for improving my eyesight, and then we get to have a balance. So there might be it's a versus in terms of chronology, however, not necessarily, where both can be, we aim for a balanced final approach. However, it allows for with that particular physiology bonus approach without eyewear for me, Tanis, she, her, hers of Seattle, there might end up being a chronological weighting of one form or one category over the other. So there we go. That's Invoking Tom Holland for non-soloist reading, Ancient Texts v. Comic.